Hey guys, it's RodimusPrimal. I am back in another video, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about yet another Transformers crossover. We have some sad news as far as one of the Transformers voice actors, and we have the possibility that the next director has been selected for the live-action films. Of course, I've got a lot to talk about, so sit back, relax, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and let's transform and roll out. Consider supporting the channel on Patreon, becoming a channel member, or purchasing some merch on my Teespring store today. Okay, so the first bit of Transformers news that I want to talk to you guys about today, unfortunately, is the sad news, and that is the fact that actor Kirby Morrow, sorry for butchering your last name, passed away at the age of 47. He was a regular on Stargate Atlantis. He had quite a few other acting roles as well, but he was also well known in the voice acting community. He was the voice of Cyclops in X-Men Evolution. He was, I believe it was the second voice of Goku in Dragon Ball Z in the Pioneer dub. He was the voice of Moroku in Inuyasha. He was the voice of Michelangelo in Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation. And he was also the voice of Rad in Transformers Armada and Energon. And then he took over the voice of Hotshot in Transformers Cybertron. Now, we don't yet know what the cause of death is. The news broke late yesterday, and unfortunately, I had not had the chance to, inform you guys about it. And it is really sad news because his voice is well remembered. If you grew up watching the Unicron trilogy, you remembered his voice because Rad was a major part of, Armada. It's kind of important in Energon, and of course, him voicing Hotshot in Cybertron was a big deal. So it's definitely well missed. And like I said, we don't yet know what the cause of death is yet. So the best that we can do now, is I can give my condolences to the family and pray that they find comfort in this trying time. We find out what happened, and that's it. So it's very, very sad news. So the next bit of Transformers news does have to do with another crossover, and this piece of art is back from 2007 when Matt Moylan of Lil Formers did this crossover with Sideswipe stepping on the Avengers in the Avengers Mansion back when the X-Men and not the X-Men, when the Avengers and Transformers did a crossover. And that is because the next crossover with the Transformers brand is with the X-Men, and they are basing this on the X-Men animated series. So it is using, blues and yellows. It's actually very reminiscent of the 90s costumes from the comic books, with with Cyclops' armor and his belt, but it also has his visor, and it also has blast effects like Wolverine and Psylocke. So you can have the robot use those little extra attachments, and the robot itself is going to be called Ultimate X-Spanse. I think that's a little bit of a bigger name than it needs to be, so just X-Spanse to me works. But he is going to be coming out in March. It's going to be $64.99, and it's not going to be exclusive to just one retailer. It will be available. Right now, it's like you can pre-order it on Target, GameStop, and Hasbro Pulse, and it has an officially licensed SR-71 Blackbird, for an alternate mode, which is actually the jet that they used in the comics and the animated series. Comes with two smaller figurines, Wolverine and Sabretooth. And look at that, it also comes with a blast effect of Psylocke's butterfly effect that she did in the comics. Now, this blue and yellow uniform was also used by the X-Men all uniformly. I believe it was X-Men 275. Yeah, I think this is the image here for X-Men 275. That shows the uniforms were all the same, but personally, I like the uniforms here from X-Men #1, which I think is one of the best-selling X-Men comics of all time. I could be wrong on that, but the robot mode for this Transformer looks really cool. I do like the jet mode. I like the detailing on it, the paint apps, you know, having the yellow as well as the X symbols on the wings. And the robot mode, the visor does come down, so you can do that whole Cyclops effect. It looks a lot better with the Cyclops visor than it does with it up. I will say that. The eyes just don't look right with the eyes like folded up. And I really like the blast effect for Psylocke. I think I like that a lot better than the Wolverine ones just because of the way that they come out. It just doesn't look right. But the robot mode itself looks really, really cool. It's a really interesting figure. I think it's a little bit too small, if you want my honest opinion. It's only supposed to stand about 8 inches tall. And for an SR-71, they are big jets, but you know, it's kind of like something that you might want to see, you know, add that. But the packaging looks really cool, because if you guys have remember if you were collecting, you know, X-Men toys back in I think it was the early 90s and mid 90s, the X-Men toys that came out from Toy Biz at the time had this packaging art. And when the X-Men animated series came out, everybody was flocking the stores to buy these X-Men toys. And this is what the packaging looked like. So it had that like that orange look, you know, with the classic X-Men logo. And, you know, the artwork on the box here looks fantastic. It's actually a really good crossover, I think. Personally, I'm still waiting for Kit. I'm still waiting for the A-Team. And those are two vehicles that I want to see as far as a Transformers crossover. But crossing over with the X-Men, they've already done so before in the past, you know, especially considering, you know, Transformers has its roots in the Marvel comics. And if you want to know about that, be sure to watch my video on that. But this is actually a really cool crossover, if you ask me. Now, this next bit of Transformers news has to do with the live action films. Now, what we do know is that they are tapping Creed 2 director Stephen Caple Jr. to direct the next installment in Paramount and Hasbro franchise. Now, here's the thing about this. First of all, Stephen Caple Jr., he's kind of a green director, so to speak, so he doesn't have like this, like, I'm going to make these movies with grand vision and stuff, like, you know, something like Michael Bay did. But I'm curious to know how much of a fan he is of Transformers. What we do know is that he was chosen to direct Creed 2 so that Sylvester Stallone could focus on his role as Rocky in the movie. And I liked Creed 2. There were some scenes that I really wish were in the film, like the actual Rocky versus Drago fight. But that movie was very enjoyable. What I'm curious about, though, is that how well will he handle the Transformers franchise? Will he respect the source material? Will he do something that will invigorate older fans as well as general audiences? You have to be able to walk that fine line when it comes down to doing the next movie. The thing is that he hasn't signed the papers yet. He's been announced that he is tapped to direct, meaning that they think that he is the best choice. He is the one that they have talked to about directing the next movie, and he's attached to it, but it hasn't been made fully official yet. But this is official news. They are saying that, like, yeah, he's probably going to be the one to direct the next script. Now I'm going to read this article so we can kind of talk about it. Following a lengthy search, Paramount Pictures and Hasbro Studios have set Stephen Caple Jr. to direct the new Transformers pick in the reinvented universe. Insiders add, while negotiations have yet to begin. See, this is what I was talking about. He is the top choice among studio execs and producers, and a deal should close in the coming weeks. After meeting with several top execs, including Paramount Motion Picture President Emma Watts, the studio saw Caple as the best fit for the franchise that the studio chose to revamp at the top of the year. In January, the studio made the decision to give the entire franchise a revamp by having 2 simultaneous scripts that are in active development, one by James Vanderbilt and one by Joby Harold. Harold's film eventually would be chosen as the next installment of the franchise, and once he had given his final touches on the script at the end of the summer, the studio began taking director pitches on the next film. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with about these 2 scripts, I did do a video on this before, but to give you the recap is that James Vanderbilt is writing a Beast Wars script, and Joby Harold was doing something that's more akin to being either a sequel to Bumblebee or to be the new fresh start in the franchise. doing the cars and trucks and airplanes and stuff. Some people are really excited about Beast Wars, and some people really want to see, more, cars and trucks and airplanes. And I kind of get that cross between. Personally, I would like to see something brand new brought to the franchise. Beast Wars would be that, but I don't think that they feel that doing a Beast Wars film would be profitable for them at this current time, especially with everything happening right now. But Joby Harold is doing what seems to be a sequel to Bumblebee. Now, what they're actually saying is that that Bumblebee does set up a new universe. This has kind of been that cross between, you know what I'm saying? I have been talking about this for quite a bit, saying that we don't know if Bumblebee is a prequel to the Bay films or if it is setting up its own universe, and it seems to be going on the latter, that it's going to be setting up its own, new universe. But it's possible that this new film could be the start. The reason why is because, well, Hasbro wants to be able to incorporate all their other stuff into the live action films. They want to be able to incorporate things like G.I. Joe. They want to be able to incorporate things like Mask and whatever other toy franchises they can make movies on to make a unified universe. And G.I. Joe and Transformers do cross, a little bit here and there. So it's not something that they can't do, but Bumblebee is a good groundwork in some ways. The thing is that I do hope that wherever they go is that they do respect the source material. I hope the movie, whatever they choose to do, they make the movie really good. And also, the Transformers need to be the stars of the film. I don't want to see Worm's Eye perspective of Transformers like being so high above where I can't tell the action happening. It's just like disorientating. And, that's something that the Bumblebee movie was able to do as far as the fight scenes were concerned really well. But we want the Transformers to be the stars. We want to be able to see the action. We want to care about the characters. I want an Optimus who's not looking to rip everybody's face off. I want an Optimus who is, supposed to be the character that, is that leader and is that father figure, but at the same time is just as capable of kicking Decepticon rear as anyone else. And I want to see a Megatron that is terrifying, but at the same time holds true to who Megatron is as a character, make him that evil tyrant. And so there has to be a balance. There has to be some sort of balance with the Transformers franchise. And I'm hoping that if he's chosen as the director, that he's able to, number one, be able to create a cohesive movie. Number one, because Creed 2 was a good movie. I really liked Creed 1 better, but it was a good movie. But I think that where they go with Transformers, they need somebody who cares about the franchise involved. Travis Knight really loves the Transformers franchise. He grew up on Generation 1, so he wanted to bring the excitement of that in the film, even though it was a smaller film. This is probably going to be something bigger. We don't know where they're going with it yet. But either way, I'm excited because it means that they are moving forward with the live action film, and hopefully where they go is something that we can all agree upon, something that we all care for. If those of you who are wondering, is Michael Bay coming back? He's not coming back. And are they going to continue the Bayverse? No, they're not going to continue the Bayverse. Why? Because The Last Night was kind of the ending. Oh, yeah, they left us on a cliffhanger. Not the first time things have left us on a cliffhanger, but they figured that was like the end cap. Like they really can't. They wrote themselves into a corner where they can't continue with the franchise unless they have Unicron wake up, and that would be the end of the earth. So this is the direction that they're going. We're gonna have to see where they go with it. And hopefully it's a good one. But I want to know what you guys think. What do you think of all this Transformers news? Are you excited about the next live-action Transformers film? What do you think about the X-Men Ultimate X-Spanse action figure? And what are your thoughts on poor, Kirby Morrow? Of course, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe. Check out my other videos as well. I have more Transformers discussions, retrospectives, and news and stuff like that coming down the pipeline. So stay tuned for all that. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.